Why does Ken Paxton go easy on child predators? A Waco attorney, Adam Hoffman, sexually abused a child for 3 years, and Paxton gutted the case, offering him just a slap on the wrist. And guess who represented Adam Hoffman? None other than Jerry Morris, the same lawyer who represented Ken Paxton's corrupt donor, Nate Paul. Why do child predators connected to Ken Paxton keep getting off easy? Texans deserve an answer.
He should stop giving Epstein-style sweetheart deals to pedophiles. You know, this is the guy who just released Adam Hoffman from jail and admitted child rapist after one of Ken Paxton's wealthy lawyer friends got involved in the case. Ken Paxton even kept him off the sex offender registry. Adam Hoffman was supposed to serve 25 years to life, but instead he served less than a month. As of this week, he's now back on our streets because of Ken Paxton's corruption. Ken Paxton is the most corrupt politician in America, and it is costing Texans. It's endangering our children, and it must end. I think the Epstein class has no place in Texas, and this November, we're going to come together to defeat Ken Paxton and take back our state for the people. Well, I think if
Well, I want to welcome you to here to Fort Worth, Texas, where the ongoing Sheriff's Association is meeting. But these are independent sheriffs standing behind me, and they are all here to support the Attorney General. Once again, thank you for being here, and it's an honor to be speaking before you. I'm Bill Wagram, the Tarrant County Sheriff. It is a great honor to stand with the Attorney General today and endorse him. There's no problem where he stands. He has supported law enforcement in his record. He's done it vigorously on a national level as well as a local level. His human trafficking program, we've together gone after the scourge of the earth, and he's been right there with us. Also, he's a southern border champion. He has fought to secure our southern border, where his opponent wanted to put out a welcome mat. His opponent has donated money to defund the police. Ken Paxton has none of that. And what I would ask people to do that are listening today is look past everything and look at the voting records and the policies of these two men. And I think that the answer will be clear for Texans. With all that said,
If you want someone to believe a lie, all you have to do is tell it to them over and over and over.
Thank you, Sheriff Wagram. As a former Texas sheriff and as a state lawmaker now in House District 30, I know all too well, lived through the things that people who have poor choices in law enforcement, weak positions on law enforcement, a position that's indefensible on law enforcement.
Every single day, my office works hand in hand with law enforcement agencies across this state. We defend law enforcement through our Law Enforcement Defense Division. We fight for justice through criminal appeals. We prosecute dangerous criminals when cases are referred to our office. We fight for justice through criminal appeals. We prosecute dangerous criminals when cases are referred to our office. We help apprehend fugitives who think they can escape justice.
I'll tell you what, Ken Paxton and his dirty independent sheriffs standing behind him, the same ones that overlooked Ken Paxton's crimes and tried to get him off by not filing any kind of charges on Ken Paxton, and also testifying for Ken Paxton when he committed these crimes. They also had no problem with Ken Paxton pardoning one of his friends that raped a child for like 3 years. Child was 6, 7 years old. For 3 years, this dirty bastard was raping this little kid, Ken Paxton's friend, and Ken Paxton turned around and pardoned him after he was sentenced. To do time. Ken Paxton is as dirty as they come. And those sheriffs standing behind him, if they're fucking backing Ken Paxton, they are just as dirty as Ken Paxton. They do not care about trafficking babies and little girls. They do not care about all the crimes that are going on in Texas. Now you heard at the end, you'll hear at the end of Ken Paxton's speech, because I cut it short because it's kind of all bullshit. But Ken Paxton also cut his speech short when it came to the questions that the reporters were asking him. But they don't realize that there are other people that record his shit live. Okay? So them putting out a video where he cuts it short because of the questions that he was asked about him owning 3 residences and using those 3 residences to vote in the elections. That's straight up voter fraud. They talk about voter fraud all the time, and the Republican Party are the ones that are committing the voter fraud. Donald Trump is a big advocate for voter fraud. He does it every fucking year. So, I'm going to let you see the full video of what happened when the reporters tried to question Ken Paxton about his voter fraud, about him owning 3 properties and voting from these 3 properties, claiming that he lived there and getting and putting in ballots or going to the voting machines and pushing the handles in 3 different counties. That's what Ken Paxton was doing. Not to mention, I'm not even going to go through with everything that is about Ken Paxton, because I have everything right here, and I am going to share it with all of you. You people in Texas, if you're voting for Ken Paxton, you are as bad as Ken Paxton. How can you, this doesn't make sense. And there's not many of you idiots out there that are mega idiots that believe in crime, that believe in rape, that believe in child molestation. Because if you're voting for Ken Paxton and Ken Paxton is up there pardoning pedophiles, then you're just as guilty as he is. And that goes for those freak sheriffs standing in back there wearing cowboy hats thinking that they're fucking cowboys when they're a bunch of fucking idiots. So, further ado, let's get to the rest of this video.
Texas Attorney General and current Republican nominee for U.S. Senate is running away from accountability, quite literally. Most recently, the scandal-plagued official is accused of listing 3 separate residences as his primary address, despite not living there. Paxton claims he's not violated any voting rules, but take a look at what happened when reporters pressed Paxton on that.
Can we keep this to law enforcement today?
Well, I'm giving you the opportunity to answer that question.
I'd like to, folks who are here with the sheriffs, I'd like to keep today to law enforcement.
I have a question.
We're going to get out of here. Thank you, guys.
I have a question.
Yeah, we're going to get out of here. Thank you.
Can we not have more than one person answer a question?
So he's shown, I will tell you, he's shown himself to be unfit to serve in the office he seeks. Because if you, as a candidate, I don't care what state you are, Texas, Maine, Wisconsin, doesn't matter. When you put your name out there, if you can't stand there and answer a damn question, number one. Number two, but if you certainly can't address the fact that you're registered to vote in 3 different places.
That's giving voter fraud.
Thank you.
Ken Paxton has been one of the most controversial state attorneys general in recent U.S. politics. He has faced criminal charges, impeachment, ethics investigations, lawsuits, and allegations from members of his own staff. At the same time, he has repeatedly denied wrongdoing, survived many of these challenges politically, and remains a prominent Republican figure. Here are the major controversies. Felony securities fraud charges. 2015, a grand jury indicted Paxton on 3 felony charges related to allegations that he solicited investors for a technology company without disclosing he was being compensated. He pleaded not guilty. In 2024, the case ended through a pretrial agreement under which the charges were dismissed after he completed community service, took legal ethics courses, and paid restitution. There was no criminal conviction. Whistleblower allegations. 2027 of Paxton's senior aides reported him to law enforcement, alleging abuse of office, bribery, and improper use of his office to benefit Texas real estate developer Nate Paul. The aides were later fired, resigned, or placed on leave. Paxton denied the allegations. Impeachment. 2023, the Republican-controlled Texas House voted 121-23 to impeach Paxton on 20 articles. More than 60 Republican representatives joined Democrats in voting for impeachment. The allegations included abuse of office, accepting benefits from Nate Paul, retaliating against whistleblowers, misusing public resources, obstruction, and constitutional violations. The Texas Senate later acquitted him on all articles, allowing him to remain in office. Relationship with Nate Paul. Investigators and House impeachment managers alleged Paxton improperly intervened in legal matters to help Paul, a campaign donor and friend. They also alleged Paul provided personal benefits, including home renovations and helping secure employment for a woman with whom Paxton allegedly had an extramarital affair. Paxton denied wrongdoing. Whistleblower settlement. Texas ultimately paid $6.6 million to settle the whistleblower lawsuit brought by former employees. The payment was made by the state rather than as an admission of wrongdoing by Paxton personally. Election lawsuits. After the 2020 presidential election, Paxton filed a lawsuit asking the U.S. Supreme Court to invalidate the election results in several battleground states. The Supreme Court declined to hear the case, saying Texas lacked standing. Recent campaign scrutiny. 2026, during his U.S. Senate campaign, Paxton has faced renewed questions about his real estate holdings and whether he voted using an address where he did not reside. He has also faced criticism for declining to answer reporters' questions about these issues. These matters have received significant media attention, and some allegations remain under dispute.
You guys realize that everybody that Donald Trump has brought into his cabinet are pedophiles, January 6th offenders. Everybody that's brought in by Donald Trump is a criminal, including Donald Trump. And the reason why he does this is because he knows that these people are going to stay loyal to him because they're just as bad as he is. It's a damn shame that Texas, the people in Texas would want to put this man on the Senate after all the shit that he has done. All the crimes, basically, he committed. And they want to put him in the Senate. It seems to me that Texas has a lot of pedophile protectors that don't really care about their state or don't really care about this country, or they wouldn't be putting dirt in the Senate. They wouldn't be promoting trash to represent their state. Racist, pedophiles, and lawbreakers. Texas will end up even more dirty than what it is now. It's a good thing that there are, from what I see, a lot of genuine people in Texas that are voting against Paxton being in the Senate. And I thank those people for standing up for this country and standing up for their state.